Well, tell me more. You mentioned earlier that
Mm-hmm.
people are a
Well,
little bit more, feel a little bit more comfortable opening up to you
well,
because you
yeah,
have
yeah.
often.
What's really cool is I work at Griffin Memorial Hospital, and I work with adult inpatient for mental health and substance abuse. And what's really cool is the consumers I get to work with, and who I call my peers, because I always let them know in my classes that I'm in recovery with them.
Right.
Because I am.
Right.
I got to work daily, and I got to remember the things that I learned here, so that I can keep myself moving forward and progressing and not doing the backslides. And if I do have a backslide for any reason, or if something starts going on, I've got people now I can talk to, and just knowing that transition's here, I mean, that's just a thing that I always have in the back of my head going, well, you know what, if something ever did come down, you got transition, you go over and talk to them,
Yeah.
and I still call about once a week, and I
Mm-hmm.
stay in touch, and I keep up with things. But what I was saying earlier is what's really neat is the afternoon class I do is I got to develop a new little program, and I called it It's My Life,
Oh,
you know. And what's really neat is when it's a small room that I had a lot of help with people fixing up, and we've got it like my grandma's room, so it's real comfortable coming in. But what's really neat about it is that, I share my story with them, and with me sharing my story, then they'll start sharing some of theirs, and they'll start, talking about some of the issues that brought them, to Griffin. But what's neat is we always take the class and we tell our stories a little bit, but then we start talking about solutions. Well, what can we do different? What can you do while you're here, to get help? Because I always, try and maintain that, hey, talk to your doctors, talk to your social workers, talk to the staff, because what I learned being in transition house was the best thing for me was to start talking and start opening up. And it didn't happen when I first got here. I was still real quiet and shy, but they worked with me. They gently brought me up, and I started telling them more and more, and got to work through a lot of things. And they got me to start liking me again, and they started letting me know some of the qualities that I never thought I had, which helped to build my self-esteem back in that slower. And what I mean by slower is I always go back to baby steps. We got to do everything in baby steps so that we don't over jump and go too high.
Right. So It's My Life is a pretty
It's my
fitting
life.
name. Huh?
Yes, and what's really neat is all the staff and the executive staff at Griffin are really seeing a lot of things that happen with it, because I think it's really important that you know that we have people, because once we start learning things, us that are in recovery, with our mental health and with our substance abuse, is once we can start growing, is that's the time that we get to bring it out and we get to pass it on to others.
Right.
It's like when I got here, I wasn't employable. I couldn't hold a job, so I wasn't paying taxes. I was taking whatever I could, to help me through. But, because of my growth and because of my learning, I'm now back in the community. I'm now paying taxes. I'm now doing the things, that the people out there do, that may not have the same issues as we do,
Right.
and it's, I think it's all part of it. And that's why I think it's so important the transition house keeps staying here and doing what they're doing, because I've seen, lives change here, and I see things happening. And I know people here that have gone through here, and now they're back out in the community, and they're doing things, and they're giving back to the community.
Right.
And if we didn't have, I always said that I don't know what would happen, but I always assumed that I probably wouldn't be here if I hadn't found this place.
Yeah.
You know, and I know there's a lot of people out there that need something like transition or need transition house, but that's you know but I know it's all through supports and through donations. And if I can real quick, I want to thank all of the organizations, all the individuals, all the board members, all the people that put their time in here, because they were here back in 2008 when I needed them. And there's people that are still doing it, and I'm still seeing people grow, and I'm still watching, and it's just, it's so neat, to go from a guy that didn't know how or didn't want to live for so many years to now see what's out there and to start enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to, now I got my own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm by myself. I stay busy doing things, you know, and I'm not an isolator anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I stay really busy because, you know, one of the great things that I got is with my mental health, you know, through here is also with my substance abuse, is they back me on going to my 12-step programs, you know, and they push that because, you know, I'm the type of guy that needs, if I relapse on one area, I'm going to relapse on the other. And then I'm going to be back to where I was, and I don't know if I could do that again.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to keep doing what I do every day
You bet.
and keep my growing going.